They were fantastic. They were so knowledgeable and professional and so nice. They just really, really worked to get it right. And everything was spotless when they left.
And how about the product?
We love it, the door. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's just so beautiful.
And once it was installed?
Oh my gosh, that really opened up this room. It was a very good idea.
This month only, save up to $270 per window and $770 per door.
I would work from Friday morning at 7 a.m. till Monday at 5 p.m. 4 days, and that was just the weekend. And you get a day off, and then you'd work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
You used to get days off?
Well, after you work after a 4-day weekend, you're up for 72 whatever it is straight hours.
What's the most you ever up?
Oh, I can't even. A long time.
I was up over 50 hours working.
I always thought you could. I know there's a bunch of hoops you got to jump through.
For what?
For you basically have to administer employees. You got to be a supervisor. You can't just call someone salary anymore and pay them a salary.
But are you looking up to see if there's a limit on how many hours you can work, even if you're a salaried employee?
Yeah, and I don't think there is. I think if you're legitimately, I don't know how it works. I don't know. It's weird. It is weird. I always figured if your salary, if you work 60 hours and your salary is X amount, if they did it by minimum wage plus your overtime, it's got to be under that salary amount, or else that's where the problem comes. But I don't even know if that's right.
This is done it once before. I don't think it was when we did it.
You don't think so?
No. But it just does it automatic. I don't know why it does.
And then when we get back to Denver, in February, we're going to have an exclusive USCCA event for listeners. I want you to learn more at centennialgunclub.com/khow.
Yeah, it says, okay, however, it does state that the executive employee, which you're calling a salary employee, must receive at least minimum wage for all hours worked. So that's exactly how it would be. They can't put you on $1,000 salary than work you 100 hours because you would have made more at minimum wage with overtime. What's weird though is some industries, like the ski industry, I don't think they have overtime. But maybe I'm wrong.
On my referral list at referrallist.com. Expect high winds for the eastern plains and a windy day in Denver. Meanwhile, snow in the higher elevations. The high today 45, tonight down to 22. Meteorologist Brooks Garner, Fox 31.
Sponsored by Farmers Insurance.
Would you do this?
Don't watch it. What are they doing? Did you guys do anything special? I was going to ask that. Did you do anything special there?
No.
Bungee? I did bungee off a crane. I wanted to do it, but they did it on my back. God, that hurt.
What is that?
Jumping a bungee, they hooked it onto the back. I wanted to be held on by a crane.
Was it a regular bungee or one of those pendulum ones?
I've never done one.
We should.
Hi, Tom Martino. Light my fire. 303-713-TALK. We have open lines. You can get right through. People are, I think, off to a sluggish start of the new year, but they're happy. People seem to be happy now. A lot of people are bitching about the country and all of that other stuff. This is the no bitch zone. This is the no gripe zone. This is the get help zone. We don't dictate who and what you are, just how can we help you? And Matt, he suspects his fiance might be taken advantage of with a salaried position. At what point is working too hard when you have a salary? I believe they're called exempt, aren't they? And I think that means exempt from overtime and all of that.
Yeah, but you have to meet certain criteria. You got to be in a supervisor position. You can't just call someone salary.
In other words, it's like a bricklayer to go away with it.
Yeah, and you still have to pay at least minimum wage.
You
Well,
do?
she
Okay,
is.
you looked that up, Marky?
Yeah.
Thank you. So, if the hours you work make it so that salary does not cover minimum, then you can complain about it. But see, doesn't that seem a little unfair? Because think about it. Let's say you're making like so much an hour and they say, hey, we want to hire you away and we're going to pay you a salary. You'll make way more money. But then they make you work twice as long, even though you're not making minimum wage. I mean, you didn't leave your job to get minimum wage.
Yeah, but
right?
there's other weeks you might work a lot less. I don't know.
Well, that has never, ever been the case. I mean, she legitimately, I mean, and I listen to your show.
Does she have commission at all?
I don't. No, she's paid 100% on salary, but I totally feel like she's being just completely ran
Now,
into
I
the
looked
ground.
up exempt versus non-exempt. This is coming from a website. It's just a blog somewhere, and it's by Carolyn Forsey. Here's what it says. I haven't looked at the validity, but it sounds pretty good. One of the biggest differences between exempt and non-exempt employees is overtime. An exempt employee is not entitled to overtime pay by the Fair Labor Standards Act. Now, the Fair Standards Act says you have to make a minimum, and I don't know when this is written. It says 455. I don't know what the date is on this. But it says whatever it is, what they're doing is they're extrapolating minimum wage and saying you have to earn a minimum of a minimum wage. So that's what Mark said.
And that's federal, what you're reading.
Right. Well, yeah. But the states adopt federal with labor. They can be more generous, but they can't be less. So the point is, you can't complain unless you take the hours and divide it by her salary. And it becomes below minimum wage technically. Does she have a contract at work?
You know, that's one thing that I do want to look into as far as.
Wait, I'm sorry. There you
Why
are.
not get
Keep
another
going.
job?
Look into either she has a contract or not. What does she do for a living?
She's a manager in a big box store in one of the specific departments in the store.
Yeah, and that definitely is one that could be salaried if they wanted to. They don't want you to do a salary to take advantage of somebody. So there's only certain roles that are qualified for exempt employees. But there's something else too. And that is and
depending on the big box, don't forget the other compensation or health insurance and whatever else they offer.
So, Matt, how many hours would you say she puts in?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, it's legitimately astronomical.
Give me an idea. In a week, how other than 40, does she put in 80?
No, I wouldn't say 80, but I would probably say it's somewhere around 70.
And how much does she make in gross salary per year?
That is something that I don't know, but I do understand that I need to divide the amount of hours worked and by what she's getting paid, and if it's above minimum, then they're legal. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have a complaint unless they're violating an employment contract.
Probably plus overtime, too, so calculate that time and a half or whatever the state's getting now.
Well, she doesn't get overtime.
No. I'm saying that minimum wage would still, I think the overtime calculation.
No, the way they calculate it, you don't, for example, take 60 hours and multiply 40 by minimum and 20 by time and a half. They're totally exempt. They don't have to pay it, meaning it doesn't have to be considered. From what I'm reading, they just can't go below minimum wage. Now, maybe there would be, I don't know. Maybe a labor attorney would say, okay, but that's unreasonable because if she was working regular, the time and a half would kick in. So I don't know that to be sure. In other words, that might have been used as an argument that you can't simply do that. But from this article, and again, I don't know how accurate it is, but it seems pretty reasonable. They say under federal law, as long as you're meeting minimum wage, they can't bitch. You can't, you're not going to get anywhere. But we can further look into it as well. You know what, Daff, I would still try getting one of our attorneys on just to make a comment if we can. 303-713-TALK. Craig's got a comment. Go ahead, Craig. What's your comment?
Tom, one thing you've neglected to ask this guy, does he work? Maybe he should work. I understand when he doesn't work and she's working mega hours to support both of them. Have you asked him if he works?
Okay, I will for the fun of it now. Matt, do you work?
Oh, absolutely. I work very, very hard.
What do you do?
Yep.
What do you do?
I'm a foreman in a shop,
Okay.
mechanical shop.
Now, do you do it by the hour or salary?
I'm a little bit more. I'm kind of just a guaranteed wage, but I'm very happy with where I work. I get treated very well.
Okay. Well, Craig, maybe your theory got shot down on being a kept man.
Well, that sounds like it.
I would like to be a kept man. I would have no qualms being a kept man. If somebody could support me and I sit around and play golf, or I don't play golf, but you know what I want. Hey, what would be wrong with that? Now, I think it would be unfair if you didn't go into the relationship with that understanding, or if you had kids and you say to your wife, hey, I'm not going to help out.
You would have no self-esteem, Tom. You wouldn't want to do that.
Well, no, I'm talking about after working a while. You're right. I don't think I'd want to do it from the beginning. There is a certain amount of self-esteem based on what you do. Let's face it. Do you ever notice in conversation how people try to get around to what you do? I'm always interested. But I'll tell you this. You can tell in a group of people when they start taking out the rulers for the measurement contest. You can tell. You can just tell. Dan, did that echo over your head? You're looking like,
Went right over my head, the whole measurement thing.
Okay. Well, anyway, to measure how impotent you are and to measure how people, they do. People in a group will position themselves. They want to know where they fit. Cocktail party conversation. People, how they expose details of their life. Is it blatant? Or is it like, oh, well, when I was in Italy in my home over there, well, you see the lights went out and then we didn't know who to call, that kind of thing.
The Worcester pilots.
Oh, shut up. You're just lying. I haven't experienced that. But he has a thing. He has a thing. He says, "How do you know a guy's a pilot?" He'll tell you within 5 minutes. Do you think that's true?
That's absolutely
true.
I don't think it is. You mean an airline pilot or any pilot?
Like you'll say, "Oh, what a beautiful day! I was out flying today."
Oh, I did not. I've never done that. God, you know what? No.
I had a manager. I swear to God, Tom, he would tell you in the first 5 minutes that he was a pilot. Absolutely.
There are a lot of people that like saying what they do. Doc, did you like to drop you were a doctor or not?
Hell no.
No, why?
Because everybody's always asking for free medical advice.
Is that true? Do people really do that?
Absolutely.
They really do that.
I went to a party one time and talked to a woman for maybe 10 minutes. She literally called me up at 2 o'clock in the morning to ask me a question because she thought we were friends and didn't want to bother her own doctor. So, no, I never tell people.
By the way, speaking of that, Dan, did you get a message from a Lyft driver on 303 Martino?
No.
Okay, because one of my good friends gave him my cell number, and he called me in the evening during the holidays. And I'm saying, okay, cool. Here's what you call, and I promise you, Dan will take your number. We're going to get back to you. But I just remembered that. He's a Lyft driver. And he had an accident, and his insurance won't pay.
We can't get text to that number.
Oh, I didn't tell him to text. I told him to call.
Yeah, call, of course.
Yeah. Anyway, it's 303 Martino, 303's 627-8466, right? Yeah. Anyway, hold on, Matt. I think you're out of luck. Doug, is he a new comment on this, or was that the one we had?
No, it's a new one.
Doug, what's your comment, Doug?
Hey, Tom. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Tom, I'm driving right now. You could look this up on the Internet. National Labor Relations Board under Obama changed overtime rules that salaried employees up to a threshold of around $49,000 were subject to overtime rules.
Really?
Then a federal judge overturned it. And then the Trump administration reinstated it, and I think it's now $36,000. Jared Polis, his administration's been talking about raising that threshold up above 40, I think to like 45. If you Google it, you can look all that
In
up.
other words, you have to make that amount to be exempt.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's, yes, exactly. And it kind of says, it almost says to employers, hey, below this threshold, you probably should make people hourly because it's easier to manage payroll and things like that. But it might have bearing in this case. And if you Google it, you can kind of look it up that the National Labor Relations Board said if you're, and it's roughly like about $36,000. If you're not paid at least that amount, yeah, you can be still salaried. But if you work more than 40 hours a week, you are subject to overtime.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm going to look that up. Thank you, Doug.
And, he did say big box, so let's assume it's Costco or Sam's or Best Buy or Walmart. I mean, they're following the rules.
I imagine they are, yes.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino. Now, Michael Brown at 2.
It used to only mean like Sam's, Costco, BK's.
Lowe's and Home Depot.
What about Kohl's? Those aren't.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what a big box is now.
What is a big box?
I'm gonna Google. I hate to see what kind of.
Comes up after
Doc's
that.
seen a lot of big boxes in his life.
Now you know why I don't tell people what I do.
That's a good Doc's Big Box Store. What are you?
It's big. All it says is a physically large retail establishment.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
So it's like anything.
Retail, yeah, like the Kohl's or anything like that.
Anything. Yeah, look, they even use Barnes & Noble as an example.
Fajitas are back at Ruby Tuesday. Stop in for fresh grilled veggie, shrimp, or chicken fajitas for only $7.99. Great flavors at a great price. Only for a limited time and only at Ruby Tuesday.
I can't say enough good things about Buy and Build Kitchen and Bath. I've been representing Buy and Build for years. They have a new location, 560 South Lipan. Here's the message. Whether you're doing it yourself or using a contractor, or you want Buy and Build to do it, check out their cabinets and vanities and granite and tile and hardwoods and plumbing and electrical fixtures. The all-new Buy and Build Kitchen and Bath now open at 560 South Lipan. 303-295-6022. Threshold for exempt employee. So it says here $23,000 a year.
Well, that'd be four.
But how long?
That's 455 times 52.
Mark, and I'm looking at the FSLA.
Yeah, but Colorado's going to be different.
Most jobs are governed by, but some are not. Some jobs are excluded by statute.
Yeah, that's what it says. Well, it's got to be at least minimum wage, Joe.
So, Mark, it says employees who are paid less than $23,600 are non-exempt, no matter what.
Yeah.
Is that current, you think?
For feds, yes, not for Colorado.
They can be more generous, right?
They are more generous. It's whatever our minimum wage is.
Colorado threshold.
I mean, federal minimum wage is like, what, $7 or something? I mean, it's nothing. It's crazy low.
Colorado. Here it is.
Colorado just went up to $12 an hour?
I think so.
That's
$7.25 is federal minimum wage. Jeez.
It says here in Colorado.
You can't get a Happy Meal for that.
Yeah, you can.
I don't think so. Not a good Happy Meal. Get the real cheap one. The one without the toy.
Okay, it says $27.63 and highly. Oh wait, no. I don't know. This is hard to read. I went on their site. There's no actual amount.
So Colorado's just went up to $12 an hour.
Amended Colorado minimum wage order.
What is a minimum salary in Colorado? 1110.
It says not
USD per
all
hour.
salaried employees are exempt. Listen, it says to be exempt, the employee must meet criteria. If an employee doesn't meet it, but it doesn't say what those are. Okay. Categories of employment by professional occupation. The following employees or occupations are exempt from all provisions of the wage order. Here they are. Administrative, executive, professional, outside sales, elected officials, and members of their staff. Other exemptions are companions.
Nobody's available.
Okay,
John
that's
Davis
okay.
is out of
Yeah, you know
town.
what? They won't know anyway.
Okay. All right. I do have
So we go 1110
call,
times
I called
40.
the DMV
Right now it's
media.
12.
So she's
2020
going to
is
give
12.
me an update.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah. Right.
You're positive?
I looked at.
Yeah, you're right. 12. I'm looking at until it reaches $12 in January 2020.
That's an oxymoron when you're talking to me.
So you are a moron. Oh.
You're right. Of course I'm right. You're talking to me.
12 times 40.
Hi, Tom Martino here. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Do you know what we do here? We solve problems. We answer questions. We take complaints and we make your life a little easier. And all you have to do is call. Or you can write us. Help at troubleshooter.com. Help at troubleshooter.com. The bottom line is you can get right through and get all the help you need. This is the only show of its kind anywhere that does this, and we're happy to do it. So let's get right to it. One of the things that we talked about earlier were when I talked about Rockies, I talked about car dealer tricks. And I have a list of things that I've kept that I don't think we should put up with anymore. Now, hold on, let me get to them. Okay. Do you know that there are some dealers, when you walk in, they'll say, oh, what are you looking at, blah, blah, blah. And then if you say something like you want to take a test drive or you're looking at a car, they try to get your license to make a copy of it or something. Now, beware. Now, they won't do that to a sophisticated buyer. Have you ever had one, though? A dealer ask for your license. It's a way of keeping you there. And what they'll do is they'll ask for your license, and they might say, well, we need to make sure you're qualified to drive or this or that. And they usually do it with unsophisticated buyers, and it's called the license snatch. Now, again, they give you reasons for it. And if you're coming in on a special, they'll say, well, we can do a soft credit check, or we can, if you want to take a test drive, let's get a copy of that license. And then when they get a copy of the license, they don't give it back right away, and they kind of just want to keep you there. Now, the biggest problem we have, and we still have it today, is called the callback. We get this all the time. You would be shocked at how many dealers will make you a dream deal because they just want to deliver the car to you that day or that night, knowing full well that they'll almost never be able to get that deal through. Now, why would they do that? Now, I'm not talking about legit dealers here. I'm talking about tricky dealers. And this is how you know. You get the call back, and they say, oh, you know that rate we quoted you? We can't do that rate. We need a cosigner, or we need more money down, or you need to do a higher rate, or whatever. That's called the callback. You think you already made a great deal. So you're thinking, hey, I got a car. You show your friends and neighbors, and when they give you the callback, you'll almost do anything to keep that deal going. And here's the problem with that. That dealer should be obligated to that original contract, and there are ways to keep them obligated if they did it the standard way, where they list themselves as the finance company. And then they say it's subject to approval, but you can argue the approval was given when they gave you that car and you drove away. But again, it's called the callback. Beware of this. In fact, I say you never should take a car ever, ever. Now, it doesn't mean the deal isn't final. The deal could be final, but there's no way they can undo it if you get it paid for. So, even though you're going for a finance deal, or you might be borrowing the money somewhere else, unless that money gets transferred to the dealer and is paid in full, you should never take the car. Never. Never. Once you take the car, okay, then they can never call you back if the car's been paid for, ever. There's another thing we found, false financials. Now, in the case where most people that fall under this, they need financing. To get some people financed and make you look better to a lender, they've been known to falsify financial information. You might sign something and then they fill it in, or they say, here, fill this out, and they give you a dummy one, right? And they say, okay, now sign this and we'll type all of your information onto this application. You just sign here. When they type it in, the salesperson might fudge your income a little or not show all of your debt. You should never sign a blank application. And trust me, people are asked to do this all the time. Now, I'm talking about, again, sleazy dealers, not good ones. They also, this is another famous one. By the way, our number is 303-713-TALK. Again, this is not car day. We're not concentrating on cars, but I want to bring this up. This one we hear, and after hearing it more than 4 or 5 times, I thought this is not a mistake. They misquote the sales tax. Let me explain this. If a dealer does not collect enough sales tax at the time of sale, guess what happens? You have to pay it when you register the car. That's usually a few weeks down the road. So here's what happens. They know that this deal is very, very tenuous. And if they add $1,000 to the deal, it's going to go away. So they misquote your sales tax. And they'll call it a typo or something. But they'll misquote it so your total with tax looks agreeable. Then you go to register the car, and that extra $1,000 or $1,200 shows up. The county says you got to pay it. You go back to the dealer and they say, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't collect all of it, but you're still responsible for it. The contract says you are. You're responsible. 303-713-TALK. Johnny?
Yes, sir.
What's going on with you, sir?
I just called. Today I have off, and I was, calling the company that took the car.
Wait, what are you talking about? First of all, I'm not. Are you calling about a follow-up here?
Yeah, follow-up.
All right, you called us originally when?
Probably it's been about 3 weeks now with the Sharpest Rides, the whole company.
Did you talk to me or Mark?
To Clint as well.
Okay, and what's the situation? You bought a car and had a problem?
I bought a car from Sharpest Rides.
Okay.
And a finance company wrongfully repossessed my vehicle.
So your car was repossessed by the finance company. Did they claim there was a previous lien on it? I remember this.
Yes. That I still don't know, but I just called to see if my car was still at the tow yard, and now it's an auction. It's already an auction.
So wait a minute, Johnny. The people who you financed it through, what do they have to say about this? Since you have a loan with them and they thought they had collateral, what does your lender say about it?
They're not answering me now.
Well, your lender is on your side. They want that car to be with you too, because the lender where you borrowed the money to buy it from Sharpest Rides, that lender did not repossess it.
Correct.
It was a previous lender. Did that previous lender have the correct VIN number?
They won't speak upon it with me.
The previous lender, because it's not in your name, right?
Correct.
Do you have any idea where the previous lender is located?
I'd go back to where this began. I'd have to go back to Sharpest Ride at this point.
Yeah, but what does Sharpest Rides tell you? I mean, they sold you a car that supposedly did not have clear title. So what do they say to you?
The Clint checked with the state, and the state said that the Sharpest Rides is clear on their part. They have nothing to do with it.
Because it had a clear title.
Correct.
This is crazy.
It is. But once again, where else would you go? You have to go back to where you bought it. They sold him something that it isn't his. He got taken.
Okay, but who's wrong? What if it's the previous What if it's the previous owner or the previous, what if the lender that repossessed it did it with a wrong number? I mean, if a dealer sells a car in good faith and they have a clear title and they presented, Johnny, you got a copy, your lender that loaned you money on that car got a clear title, right?
Correct.
So what did Sharpest Rides do wrong? They provided a title to his lender. His lender loaned the money.
So what would you do?
Sure, I'd go back and ask them. But what if they're a victim too? Is what I'm getting at. I don't know how, and Johnny can't find out. Did Deputy Clint talk to the previous lender?
Yes, he spoke to both parties.
Okay, what did the previous lender tell him? You know what? We need to call Clint. Hold on a second, all right?
It's still going to be just as cloudy.
Well, I just need to know. First, I want to know, did they repossess the right car or not? And then if they did...
apparently they did.
Then how did Sharpest Rides have a clear
They're saying
title?
like a mechanic's lien was put on it, like right as it was getting transferred, I think it was Arizona or somewhere to here. So even though Sharpest Rides, I guess, did have a clear title, someone allowed in Arizona or California, wherever it was, to let that mechanic's lien hit like right at the same day, same time. That's kind of what is being...
That's crazy.
I know, it's nuts. So then whose fault is it? Let's go back
just
to that.
hold on. We're going to come right back to this.
Now, Impact Traffic.
Did we ever talk to Sharpest Rides?
Yeah. I didn't
Are we
going
gonna
to
fix it?
Clint was saying.
So when you pull a Carfax, does it tell all the previous owners, or where is that?
It should all the registered owners.
Okay, so the one who's at fault is the previous owner that's before it got transferred to who had the mechanics lien.
What do you mean whose fault it is? What
That's
has fault got to do with it?
What do you mean whose fault's got to do with it? It's their responsibility. They should have cleaned up that mechanics lien.
Okay, so what would you do? You're going to go to Arizona and sue him?
I would say that's whoever it is got to sue that person in there. I guess
The guy just bought it. That's what I'm saying. The guy just bought a vehicle that he had fully financed, probably nothing down. I mean, how the hell is he going to fly out there, sue him, hire an attorney?
Oh, I've never just ever heard of something like this.
I still say you go back to where you bought the vehicle. If I bought a vehicle and it got repoed because there was a lien on that vehicle, I would have a freaking issue with it. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Where else would you go?
I'm wondering why. I guess Sharpest Rides.
What if Sharpest Rides bought it in Alaska? So now the guy's supposed to go to fucking Alaska?
No. What I'm saying is for him, they could have repossessed it right out of Sharpest Rides' lot.
Yeah.
And I imagine there was some type of a...
Which they would have if he hadn't bought it in the interim, right?
I guess.
If it had been on a lot for another week, it might have been repossessed.
Well, here's the other thing is there's some type of a GPS thing on that. Because they picked it up at his work. The previous lien holder.
I don't understand this at all. First of all, do we know it's not a car loan? It's a lien? How do we know?
It was a lien.
It wasn't a loan.
No, it was a lien that they had said, but they didn't say it was a mechanic's lien. So, but I just assumed.
Well, it could be a lender lien. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you. When Clint explains it to you, it's going to sound exactly like you just heard. Because once again, you're going to have no idea what the hell transpired or happened. I'm just telling you.
But he went to the Colorado DMV and they said that it was a free and clear title. So that tells me when you go to state, all bets are off. Buying a car that's come from out of state.
All I can do is circle back around. The only place this guy's going to handle this is going to be where he bought it.
And I think he can probably sue them. How much did he pay? Do you know?
Or would he sue his lender?
Why the lender?
Because the lender isn't the lender supposed to make sure it's all free and clear?
The lender, for their own sake, would make sure it's free and clear. Right. I don't know about for your sake. I don't know if they have some duty to you. Because some credit union, I doubt it. To themselves they would, of course. They'd want to make sure that they have the first lien on the vehicle. It's a strange one, but here's the thing. I still have no idea what happened. I have no idea what transpired. Was she able to get Clint?
I don't know.
Doc, you remember this one, right?
I wasn't here that day.
Oh, okay.
No, it was crazy at the time.
No, I know. And then when Clint came back and described it, it still made no sense to me. It looks like a mechanic's lien, though.
That's what it almost has to be.
A mechanic's lien was placed on it like the same day like they bought it or something. It was if a lien was placed on it in Arizona by a Firestone or a Goodyear or something. And then like it's sold here in Colorado. I don't even know if that lien pops up on it from there. I don't know how that works.
I know. It's almost like this could be a scam. You could do this because they were able to get it.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You know, Zero Res Denver was in here earlier, and he said, Tom, we want to do a special for the new year right now. And I know it's for today. I don't know. You don't have to have it done today, but you have to call today.
It's for the month of January.
Oh, it's a whole month.
Yeah.
Cool. It's unbelievable. I thought he was saying $79 per area. It's not.
You asked him like 3 times.
I kept saying it's $79 for 2 areas, 2 big rooms. $79, and additional is not that much more. You can ask them about that. They always quote everything up front. So 2 areas, doesn't have to be like rooms with a wall, but 2 big areas, $79, ZeroResDenver.com. It's 303-471-5150. It's for all of January. That is your great deal. 303-471-5150. 2 areas, $79. They use no soap or emulsifiers. They use empowered water. It's really cool. That's 303-471-5150. $79 for 2 areas. Okay, listen, man. This is weird, but we have a situation where a guy bought a car. Now, listen, Sharpest Rides, it happens to be where he bought it. They did nothing to do this. They didn't do it, but they sold him the car. They just happened to be a victim, too, because this car somehow had a previous lien on it. But that lien did not show up anywhere. In fact, Johnny was able to get this car financed. Where did you get this car financed, Johnny?
Actually, the Sharpest Ride set me up with this finance.
Yeah, but what's the name of the lender?
CRV Mechanical Auto.
So CRV Mechanical Auto financed the car. How much did you finance?
It was about $23,000.
Okay. Now, no one is going to finance you for $26,000 without a title, and they got the title, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Now, how much did you put down in addition to this? Anything?
I put $5,000 down with Sharpest Rides.
All right. Now, here's the deal. You put $5,000 down, you financed $26,000, and your car was repossessed, not by CRV Mechanical Auto, not by that lender that Sharpest Rides got you. It was repossessed by who?
Finance firm by the Bridgecrest.
It's a finance firm.
That is correct.
And it was for some kind of previous loan on that vehicle. So somehow, someone had a loan on that vehicle, and they stopped paying on it. They somehow sold the car. Whoever bought the car got a clean title.
I think through Sharpest Rides bought it at auction, if I recall.
Johnny, did you ask if your lender has a clear title?
They said they do, but they can't. It's electronic.
What do you mean?
It was an ELT, so it was an electronic.
Yeah, a lot of dealerships have those now.
Okay.
I tried getting a copy of it, but
now what is this? This is what I'm interested in. Is this guy? Is this lender, CRV Mechanical, where you got the loan, are they still trying to, what do they say you should do now? Do they expect you to make payments?
The last person I spoke to was on Friday, and he asked me what would I like to do. I suggested, hey, get my name off the contract. I don't want the car no more.
Right, but how are you going to get? You got to get your $5,000 back.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask you. Who do I go ask?
Well, now listen, man.
Or?
Yes, I think so. Even though they did not intend to do this to you, I mean, who else owes it to you? Here's what would happen. I think they should give you back the $5,000 because you got a car that did not have a clean title. And then that $5,000, the Sharpest Rides is out because now they don't have the car. They need to go after the auction. They need to go down the line. It's called the chain of commerce. You see what I mean? They need to go after the people that ripped them off. Even if it was unintentional. Now, if Sharpest Rides does not voluntarily pay you the $5,000, then you may have to go to small claims court. I don't see any judge saying you shouldn't get your money back. I mean, if you get off the contract with the lender's saying we couldn't have title. And so if you bought a car, even though they did not do it intentionally, I want to make that clear. They're not stupid. They're not going to sell a car that they know has a clouded title. But it doesn't matter if they knew about it. The fact is they sold you something that you cannot use. What if they had a stolen car? What if a dealer gets a stolen car? Even if they don't know it's stolen, they still have to make good on it. So I would ask them nicely for your $5,000 back. And if you can't get it back, then we can tell you how to proceed. We'll tell you the logistic advice, not legal advice, and you just go to small claims court for $5,000. Now, we have more coming up. We're still going to look into this, and we also have a guy on the line that wants to help. Get Tom Martino endorsing Ideal Home Loan. Ask Mark to hang on. Have him look it up. Have him look it up and do the title search for us. Mark, you say Mark is on 6, right?
Absolutely crazy.
This is crazy.
It is weird as hell.
I think you're right. I think that Sharpest Rides should give him his money back, and they should go, like you said, Tom. They're the ones that should go after the.
I mean, how can they?
Well, both Sharpest Ride and CRB have to go after them.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't the dealer in Colorado? They must have some kind of. They have to make sure it's a clear title, regardless if it's a mistake or not.
That's right. That's exactly right. Hey, Mark, are you getting your sleep now? Your great sleep or what?
It's better now. I got it set up at 80.
What do you think is the problem? Because I'm telling you, I just never had such great results with a fucking product.
I liked our other bed.
Jeez.
It's growing on me, though. We'll see.
What, you sleep?
Now, I have mine set at 80. I just love it. But
it's way more tolerable than it was. I cannot do it at those lower numbers.
You might want it at 100.
I don't know.
Here's the thing, man.
I'm going to do like 3-4 days at a time, then adjust it.
I love it. Last night, though, I had this weird feeling in my lower back that was like spasming. You know, like restless leg, but it was like my back. I couldn't get comfortable. And you know, I couldn't sleep, Mark, I told you, right? And the only thing I could trace it to, I had a massage. And it's almost like, I don't know, Doc, what this would be, but can you get stimulated to such an effect with a massage that the tissues that are repairing themselves, because that's the whole idea behind massage. It was a deep tissue.
Right.
As they're repairing themselves, it's taking blood flow and keeping you up. I mean, I don't know.
It sounds plausible, but I don't know the answer to that.
I mean, I literally could not sleep. Oh my God, it was terrible. Terrible.
Was there anything else going on?
Not really.
I mean, you didn't take a nap in the afternoon, or you didn't?
No nap, and I didn't take
Didn't drink coffee.
I didn't drink. No, I was at dinner. I had hot sake. Now, does alcohol stimulate?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Are you sure?
Sure. It'll put you to sleep and then wake you up.
Well, it doesn't put you to
know
sleep.
what?
It knocks you out. There's a difference.
Okay.
You know
There's
what?
a difference.
Hold on a second. That could really come back to stimulate me.
Yeah. How much sake did you have?
You know, one of those little vials.
Well,
this big. You know, it's
not very much, but if you're not.
You know, if you put it in a regular wine glass, it'd probably be 2 wine glasses, right?
Right.
I don't know how strong sake is. Isn't it way stronger than regular wine?
I don't think so, Mark. I don't know.
But yeah, that's the worst sleep you can get when you drink too much because
Oh,
it wakes you up. And
but
then
I didn't think I drank a lot, but you know what? It could have been. It could have been.
Contrary to power, most sake is about
just looking it
20%.
up.
20% what?
Alcohol.
So is that good or bad?
Well, it's more than wine. It's like about 5% more than
Wine's about 15.
Yeah.
And beers are
are
4 to 10.
5.5. Yeah. Man, 10.
Sake contains you 18 to 20%.
No, those double IPAs and sugar. Well, there's 7 to 9. Yeah. 10's, I guess, a little heavy. Although, have you ever had Chimay?
No, what's Chimay?
It's a beer. It's really good, actually. It's more of like a wine.
I thought it was an old girlfriend.
They have a blue label, red label, and I think a yellow.
I partake in Chimay.
It's like when you want to impress your girlfriend, right? You ask for a Chimay.
Damn it! I hate that bitch. That is seriously if I drink too much, you fall asleep.
Well, like I say, it's horrible sleep because you don't get any REM sleep, and then you wake up and you can't go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep.
Because you're so stimulated, and your REM sleep has been disturbed.
Yeah, I agree. So if you drink 2 glasses of wine, it'd been like drinking 3 glasses of wine then.
Right. Then you gotta figure out how long ago it was.
That's nothing. 3 glasses of wine.
Then you gotta figure out whether he's a fast or slow acetylator, because that's
Fast or slow what?
acetylator. There's an enzyme called something acetate. I forget the name of it is that decomposes alcohol. It basically metabolizes alcohol. And some people have an enzyme that's a fast metabolizer, and other people have a slow metabolizer. So depending upon it's called acetylacetate, and it's what breaks down alcohol. So if you have the fast enzyme, you can drink more, and you'll be less hungover. And if you're a slow acetylator, it'll take longer to decompose the alcohol.
So if I take aspirin before I go to sleep.
Yeah, aspirin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get a hangover in the morning.
Huh.
My son says that what he does is he takes what's it, carbon what am I thinking of? What was pure carbon?
Charcoal.
Charcoal, right. So that's what he does. But anyway.
Right, charcoal. Well, it absorbs stuff.
Okay. So you think that's what...
But I'm not sure taking charcoal after you've been drinking it. See, it would absorb it from your stomach.
Charcoal?
Charcoal like that. You can buy that carbon. What is that?
Carbonate?
No. They call it if it's real purified.
Yeah, but you can take it if it's in your stomach. It's not going to do any good if it's in your bloodstream.
Okay. That's what he said. So that's right.
You know, wow, this is really something.
What?
This one about the building department. I think people don't realize that a building department can show up at your house.
Activated charcoal. That's that.
And they can make your life a living hell.
Oh, some of this stuff is ridiculous.
But it's a way to get a free house inspection. Right? No, I'm serious.
How many people...
If you're renting it out.
Is it just for rentals?
I don't know. I see what you're saying. Just call up and say, "Hey, I need to inspect it." Although they were pointing to some kind of rental deal.
Right. So say I'm going to rent it. I need inspection.
It's the rental housing code.
You could get a free inspection.
Yeah, but the rental housing code is in addition to the other one. Either one of them would have done this.
You have to have professional duct cleaning. Provide receipts.
Holy cow! This is in Fort Collins. Boy, they're going to really jump rents up to.
There's no record of a permit being issued for a new water heater. Do you need a permit to put a water heater in town?
Yes.
Really?
If it's gas. Yes. Yes.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Want to make a programming note that realcbdthatworks.com is the only CBD products we found that really works. Now, there might be other good ones out there, but these guys are in Colorado, in Golden. realcbdthatworks.com. Also, this is important, a special from Zero Res. Two areas, that's 2 big areas, for just $79. If you have anything additional done, all pricing is made up front. That's ZeroResDenver.com. They use no soap or emulsifiers. It's all empowered water. Now, that is the best deal I've ever seen them do. 2 big areas for $79. 303-471-5150. You got to, it's all month, all January. Call and make your appointment. 303-471-5150. 303-471-5150. What would you do if you bought a car and it's repossessed and you're making all your payments? You call the lender and the lender says, we didn't repossess it. Some lender in Arizona repossessed it. Well, why did they repossess it? Because somebody had a loan on it before. Now, the dealer obviously didn't do this on purpose. No dealer is going to knowingly sell you a car that doesn't have clear title. But you put $5,000 down, you finance $26,000. His lender says, we'll let you out of it because obviously you don't have the car. So the lender's a victim. The dealer is a victim because he wants his $5,000 back from the dealer. Now, the state says that the dealer did nothing wrong. They followed all procedures. But the state doesn't get involved in the $5,000 part. They're just looking at his license. And Sharpest Rides, they're saying, did not do anything technically wrong. They sold a car, and from all intents and purposes, the car had a clear title. So they're not saying the dealer did anything wrong. They are saying the dealer's a victim like the consumer's a victim. But obviously, I believe the dealer should give back the $5,000 to Johnny, and then the dealer should go to the auction and get their money back. I think it goes down the line. Then the auction has to go after wherever they got it. That's the way it's done. We have open lines. If you need help, information, referrals, someone lied to you, cheated you, or ripped you off, or you just want to get something off your chest, isn't it wonderful to have media with a purpose? Kevin, you're on the air with Tom Martino. What's going on, Kevin?
Hey, Tom. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
So my wife got T-boned the other day. And
God, that expression just kills me because the vision of it is just bam. Now, did she get hurt?
Nope, she's okay. Actually, 2 cars got T-boned, so at the same time. But
How does that happen? How does that happen?
It was a double left turn lane, and the at-fault driver ran a red light, and so my wife and the other victim got the green light. They took off. And then all of a sudden, boom, this lady comes flying through from the left side.
So two different T-bones.
It's the same T-bone. So the driver hit the first car in the left turn lane, and then that car hit my wife's car. In the
I see. Okay. So anyway, what's going on now?
So both victims have called the insurance company of the driver, and it's Allstate. Of course, they suck.
Well, first of all, it's not up to you to call their insurance.
Yeah, I know how this goes, but I don't want to go through our insurance, really. It just seems right to go through their insurance.
It is, but your insurance will go after their insurance. That's what it means, insurance.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
talked to Brian Burns about it.
Kevin, listen, there's a couple ways of handling it, okay? You never handle it by going directly to their insurance ever.
Yeah, I know.
Now, you give it to your insurance company, and they will subrogate, and it's not your fault. They're not going to charge you with it. The next one is go after the driver directly.
That's what I'm thinking about doing.
But which driver got the ticket here?
The driver who ran the red light. But the problem is, what Allstate tells us is that she has not called in to her own insurance yet, so Allstate won't do anything. I know we don't have an agreement with Allstate.
Kevin,
I get that. Yes, I understand.
Allstate will never do anything unless they get her to report it. She can refuse to report it, and Allstate is off the hook. Why do you... you see, I told you the answer. Go after her directly. How much damage do you have?
Well, probably about $10,000 or so.
Guess
so
what?
I guess I just do a small claim.
No. You get an attorney to file a lawsuit or to write a letter saying, if you do not put in a claim post haste, we are filing a lawsuit. I'm sorry, Kevin, but you got to do it. And after all this trouble, when you do get paid, then you go after her for those attorney's fees.
Gotcha.
In
Which
small
attorney
claims
should I use
court.
then on your list?
What's that?
Which kind of attorney or who on your list should I contact?
See, that's the thing now.
Kranak.
Mark Kranak could do that. You write a letter, and really you have to go after her with vengeance. Do not waste any time. Because if you wait, listen, you're going to lose your rights if you wait. Go after the other driver. People, when you're in an accident, don't be fooled into dealing with the other insurance company. And when that company calls you and says, we have some questions for you, we're going to be recording this, you have every right to say, submit your questions in writing, and I will gladly. Now, your insurance you have to cooperate with. But even your insurance is going to try to get out of things, so be careful. But with another insurance company, you have no contractual obligation whatsoever because they're going to get you on the phone and they are going to trick you. That is their purpose, to trick you. I don't give a damn what insurance adjusters tell you. They are there to trick you. Insurance adjusters are scum of the earth. Insurance companies are the only companies set up to rip people off. That wasn't their original intent, but that is what it has evolved to. It is a system to rip you off. When an adjuster goes to your home, why do they call them an adjuster? Why don't they call them an appraiser? Because they're not. And they really shouldn't be called an adjuster. They should be called a reducer. Because that's what they do. Or a denier. That's what they do. That's why you need public adjusters on your side. But anyway, when it comes to insurance companies, don't fall for the line of crap from the other insurance company that you must talk to them. You are under no contractual obligation whatsoever with that other company. And even if the other company happens to be the same as your company, you're still under no contractual obligation in those circumstances. You talk if you're putting in a claim for yourself. But if you're going after that other party, you go after them. And don't waste time. Drivers think if they don't talk to their insurance, you're not going to get anything, and they're off. They're free. They're not. It sucks. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. You know, Kevin, I wouldn't even mind calling this woman. Do you have her name and number?
I do, but not with me. Can I get that to you tonight?
Yeah, you get it to us. And
That'd be great.
Yeah, you get it to us. Daphne is going to tell you how to get it to her. And then I'd like to call her. And, I'd like to say, but Kevin, I still want you to see an attorney. But I'd like to call her and say, what's your end game? What's your end game? Why aren't you doing this right? Now, if somebody says to you, hey, I like to keep this out of insurance, blah, 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 I don't care. I don't care what you do as long as I get paid. You can put in a claim. You don't have to put in a claim, but I want to get paid. And if I don't get paid, we have a problem. So document everything. Take photographs. We got phones. There's no reason not to take photos of everything. Their license, everything. Their registration, insurance card. But you're under no obligation to deal with that other insurance company. They're not under any obligation to treat you fairly. They suck.
Hey, Tom, I have a question.
Yeah.
Should he have somebody bring it in and have the damage estimated? And he might have to pay for that, but should he do that?
No, he'll almost never have to pay for that unless they have to take it apart. But most of the time, a good body shop can give you a range, and yeah, he should. That's called quantifying your damage. That is a very good piece of advice. And of course, injuries. You may think, oh, I don't have any injuries. And I'm not suggesting you make them up. But seriously, they can be delayed injuries. Soft tissue damage, it can happen. Genesis means the beginning. That's what Genesis Total Exteriors does. They get on the projects from the beginning. Genesis Total Exteriors, they also do all home improvements, inside and out. Mark Szymanski is a good, honest man, and you can depend on him. For any storm damage, they do it all on one estimate because they do it all from siding, windows, gutters, painting, fences, decks. Inside, they do kitchens, baths. They do basements, large and small additions. GenesisTotalExteriors.com.
Weekdays 2 to 4. It's Michael Brown.
chilly in here, didn't
Yeah.
Now, I just saved this. Where the hell did it save?
MileHighEstatePlanning.com. If you haven't called Blake Harris by now, why? Why not? You need to. Seriously, none of us should leave a will, a trust, a matter of probate in the hands of family without any direction. Or try to do it yourself. It's foolish. Protect your assets. Protect your money. Even if you're alive, it protects you from creditors. It does. If you do a trust the right way, your assets are protected. If you do probate the right way or avoid probate totally, he can tell you which is best for you. MileHighEstatePlanning.com. By the way, now with offices, not just in Denver, but in Boulder and Colorado Springs, convenient appointments, nights and weekends as well. 720-924-6171. 720-924-6171. MileHighEstatePlanning.com.
I wonder why he doesn't want to go through his insurance company.
It's wrong.
It doesn't make any sense.
Unless he doesn't have collision. If he doesn't have collision, then he says you don't have collision. So what?
What's that?
If he doesn't have collision, there's no use going through his insurance company.
And in Aurora on Havana, just south of 6th Avenue. Sheridan Auto Tech, you can trust them. 303-455-7242. What else? Not only do you trust them, but you can know they have the experience.
If the car's not drivable, he's got to go rent the car.
Yeah. He gets sued for all that.
And that should be covered by his insurance, right?
Not if he doesn't have collision.
No, if he doesn't have... Really?
You're right. Collision is right. If you don't have a collision, you're done. You're
Well, wait. Collision is damage to your vehicle. What about...
damage for your vehicle by another
Right,
driver.
right. But renting a car is a separate category. You can have rental car coverage without collision, right?
I don't know about that.
Well,
I don't know that. Normally, rental car coverage is to take care of if your car is damaged by something.
Right, but if he doesn't have to, so he gets to an accident, right? They're not going to pay for the damages, but he might have a rider for rental cars.
Yeah, that'd have to be up to. You have to talk to an insurance guy on that one. So I was just reading on activated charcoal. Wow, that's like a miracle. Freaking, I'm serious.
Oh, you and all your miracles.
No, I'm serious.
Did Mark trademark that name, activated charcoal?
That's right. I prefer Kingston. It's much cheaper. You just grind it up in the Ziploc. Add it to your coffee.
I was brushing my teeth with it, but it's hard on your enamel. That's it.
They sell toothpaste now with activated charcoal in it.
It's very,
Yeah, it's gritty.
Hey,
Yes.
Doc, I'm going to stop exercising.
Okay.
No good for you.
Wait, you know what I did yes?
Make sure that your life insurance policy is paid up. Stephanie will enjoy the money sooner.
I've added aerobic, to it because I had no stamina, and I'm getting better.
What kind of aerobic you doing?
Just this thing, an elliptical.
Elliptical.
Huh?
Elliptical.
No, but also a stair stepper.
Oh.
I change it up so I don't get bored, or a rower.
Okay.
I try to do most lower body with it. Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right, so we have wide open lines. You can get right through if you want to talk. If you need help with anything, we'll get involved. But what pisses me off more than anything is how people are jerked around. And a lot of people don't know where to call. But, almost Everywhere I go, people have something to say, and they say, yeah, I didn't want to call, but. And I think, well, call. What do you mean I didn't want to call, but? Now, we talked about car loan recourse one time. Let me explain what this is. Used car dealers, if they take recourse on a loan, they then can sell cars that are not worth what you're borrowing. How do you get upside down in a used car? Why would a lender lend money on a car where the margins are small? You know what I mean? For example, like if a car's worth $10, why would they loan $9? They would only loan $5, right? So they can be covered. So the point is, there are dealers who take recourse, and that means that they have to take the loan over if the consumer fails. Now, there's no real way to know this, but that's how you get in trouble, because people have mistakenly thought if they get a loan, the car must be worth it. Not so. Because dealers say, look, we'll take recourse, meaning if they don't make payments, we'll make up for it. But then they come and get the car and, of course, go after you with a vengeance. So be careful. Also, flooded cars. We're seeing more and more of them. I know it's not car day, but all of these things have come up because I've looked back over the last 10 years. As you enter a new decade, you sometimes do that. And flooding is a problem because most people who acquire flood cars really cheap just dry them out. And you may think, well, that's good enough. Nothing will happen. But it can come back to haunt you years later. How do you know if a car's been flooded? Well, you have to do as much research as you can. You need to do Carfax or something like it. You need to do VIN number checks. You need to know the VIN number itself tells you where the car came from. You can find out where it was shipped, and you just have to check. It's really a lot to think about. You would hope that reputable dealers won't do that to you, and none of the reputable dealers I know would do that to you. Okay, so Daphne, do we have we had the VIN number guy looking at the VIN number. He was going to do that for us. Did he do it?
Yes, he's calling right now, and he's driving, so he needed to pull over to the side of the road.
Excellent.
And then he also asked, I'm going to ask Johnny, did he get a right to cure letter? So I'm going to call Johnny and ask him that.
Okay, in other words, the guy that bought the car from Sharpest Rides had it repossessed, not by his lender, not by Sharpest Rides, but by some lender in Arizona that had a previous lien on the car that Sharpest Rides didn't know about, the consumer didn't know about, and the consumer's lender did not know about it. How the hell that happened, we don't know. Somehow, in the transition from Arizona to Colorado, Sharpest Rides got a clean title, or thought they had a clean title. They got it at an auction. No one, I don't think anyone here acted intentionally. I don't think the auto auction did it intentionally, because they all know it'll come back to haunt them. Why would they do that? So I think the guy that brought it to the auction was the cheater. Whoever brought it to the auction got stuck with a car with a lien on it and didn't know what to do with it. But here's the point. Now this guy's stuck with nothing and a loan. So the right to cure, I think, Daphne, he'll just get a letter relieving him of the obligation of the contract, because I don't think he should get a right to cure, and I'll tell you why, because you shouldn't have to pay a dime for it. I think they should simply give him a release. And a right to cure is something that, in other words, I think our guy that's researching this is misunderstanding it. It wasn't repossessed from this guy. It was repossessed from a previous owner. They don't even know that this guy exists. So there's no right to cure.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Wait, listen to this. They found that vehicle at his work and grabbed it at his work here in Colorado.
Right.
How?
Well, I don't know. They did a VIN number check maybe of recently registered
cars. Well, my point
cars.
is they know he exists because they tracked him down to his place.
But from their viewpoint, it could be that the guy that defaulted on the loan gave it to him or sold it to him. I mean, no, they know he exists.
Still, how did they know it was him is all I'm saying. I don't even understand that part of it.
You mean, how did they find the vehicle?
Yeah, how did they find it? Exactly. How did they find not only the vehicle, but where this guy worked and where the vehicle would be? And he doesn't know how to answer that.
I never thought of that. Now,
It's got to be a GPS tracker.
You know what? That's a good point.
Maybe.
There are hidden GPS trackers now. A lot of people do.
Well, in a lot of vehicles, they're built in.
What? Oh, well, yeah.
Anything
you're
with
right.
like OnStar, Blue Link, all those.
Yeah, and speaking of that, when we were talking about cars, what's really fun is hacking car features. Do you know what I mean by that? People think when you buy a car and you go to have GPS installed for the extra $800 that they install GPS. Or when you go and you want the something extra power boost or something that they install, they actually put it in the shop and install it. Or with your stereo system, you may have instead of stereo, you want 5.1, right? But you don't get 5.1 surround unless you pay extra. And if you don't pay, and then someday decide you want it, people actually believe that the shop installs it. They don't install crap. It's all software. These things, they can't afford to make a car without all that stuff already installed. If they had to pick and choose, we're going to give this one GPS, we're going to give this one this power boost on the stereo, we're going to give this one 5.2, we're going to give this one this, and we're going to give this one that, and then keep track of those cars and sell people different cars? No. Every car has most of the options already installed. When you pay for them, they're activated. So if you know how to hack, I saw a guy do it one time. He got in a Chevy truck and he said, "Oh, you want the power boost amplifier?" He goes in and does something with the buttons on the front, enters into this programming or setup mode, and then programmed it in. The stereo, it was like you installed a brand new expensive multi-zillion-dollar stereo, and he did nothing but a few buttons. Now, sometimes you may have to upgrade a speaker or two, but like GPS, you think you're going to get a GPS installed? No, they just activate it. That receiver's in there. It's amazing what technology has done. I don't know if, Daphne, if you saw the scam number, but somebody said that there's another scam. I mean, listen, we can't keep track of them, but this one was talking about shutting your computer down if you don't do something. Now, ransomware is a real thing, by the way. There are people being ripped off all the time, and you heard about
municipalities.
Erie. You heard about Erie. It wasn't ransomware, but
what happened?
My God, they had a bridge built. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. The contractor. Let's say the bill it was over $1 million. Let's say it's $1 million. They get an email. Here's how you pay from the contractor. They transfer $1 million to the contractor. They thought. A week or so goes by. The contractor says, "When are you going to pay us?" The clerk says, "We've paid you." The contractor said, "We didn't get it."
Whose email got hacked?
We don't know. All we know is this. The email they got was not from the contractor. The money never went to the contractor. They lost that $1 million.
It sounds like someone hacked a contractor's email, saw that was an open bill, and then sent it over to get paid.
I don't know. You know what? It would be good to speculate how it was done so we can keep it from getting done.
But whose issue would it be if it happened that way?
Oh, God, you know what? This is what courts are there for. I'm looking for the one. I had the link to it. It's amazing how they did it. I mean, when you think about it, Mark, it is downright scary. I mean, this is $1 million. And Erie paid it $1 million. Yeah, if you Google it, you'll find it. I had it just a minute ago. I'll look for it and we'll talk about it. But there are more ripoffs going on now than ever before in history because of the internet, because of email, because of digital transactions. And again, I always bring this topic up. You are not safe. You are absolutely not safe with a bank account if someone wants your money. Banks won't tell you this, but there is no authorization needed to withdraw from your account. I don't care what they tell you. There is no authorization. We're going to come back to all of your calls, 303-713-TALK.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino. Now, Dan Kaplis today at 4.
I'd like to see the email that they paid it on.
Mark,
the
it
bank,
is scary. Read
but
about
the bank should know where it was sent, right?
They were saying it went overseas.
Oh. So Tom, the guy that called up about his that computer thing, what they do is they take over your computer and they try and sell you.
Is there a number? There was a number, I thought. Daphne, do you have that scam number? There it is. Oh, that's SaferNet. Okay, but do you have the scam number?
It was somewhere in Pennsylvania.
No, I'm going to take Brad. That's great, but I want to talk about the scam number that you had up earlier.
See, the first thing I think is someone in the town. If I had access, you could send it to anybody anywhere.
Okay.
And say,
You know what? One of the things we do at the Troubleshooter Network is we go after phony balonies, and there are no more phony balonies that I have found. In fact, with our referral list, we have so many people on the referral list that get ripped off because they want to do digital marketing, and the first guy that comes along they grab, or someone who says, we know how to do SEO, and yet they give them an example, and it looks great, but when it comes right down to it, they're paying a couple grand a month, $5,000 a month, $6,000, it depends, a few hundred a month, and they're getting no results, and they're into a long-term contract. I want to direct you to a company that we are using for referralist.com at Troubleshooter Network, getfoundfast.com. You may have heard the name because they've done an excellent job marketing, and they stand above all the others. Getfoundfast.com, 303-952-4900. Clear up all the confusion. They don't give you a song and a dance. You get straight information, and most important of all, results, whether it's search engine optimization, website strategy, social media. Finally, get an expert on your side. Getfoundfast.com.
With PatriotSoftware.com, accounting
although
and
the
payroll,
person
keep
did
your
not
time.
follow the protocol of changing payments, how do you know she didn't transfer her own bank account?
That's right. She's gone.
She left. Yeah, she resigned.
Is that the mayor? Or
She resigned and had a brand new car when she left.
I guarantee you they're watching her carefully to see if she's driving around in a brand new Escalade.
Was it the mayor or was it this person that resigned?
It was this person.
Okay.
The staff member.
Tell Mark I'll come back to him in a second. And Brad, I'm going to take those 2 calls and get them off.
It's crazy.
Hey, Tom, I have a question. If I call on Friday, what do the guys think about dash cams? Do you guys have one?
I don't.
No, I don't. I think they're a great deal. I agree with you on having it. I think it's a great deal.
Then why don't you have one? They're like $50.
I know it.
Yeah, I was thinking about.
I should get one.
I was thinking about getting one tomorrow.
I would like to
What
see
powers
something
them? You gotta run the power, right?
It runs off your cigarette lighter.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the only
So
thing
it
that
is one.
sucks.
Why? What's the big deal?
Well, it's another line coming down into the.
Yeah, right from your windshield, right in the middle of your windshield.
It may be Bluetooth. I don't think.
No,
Not
but
for
for power.
Oh, the power.
Maybe batteries.
Yeah,
Then you
I think
have
it's
to charge
batteries
it.
because the ones I've seen don't have a wire coming down, so it's batteries.
I think they're.
Or that they probably run the wire.
No, I think it's batteries. The ones I've seen.
I have an outbound for you, either today or tomorrow.
Doc, I think
It's that Lyft driver.
As good as having also
Okay, it's the Lyft driver. I'm going to forward it to you.
automatic shut off your water main.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea for protecting yourself.
Protecting yourself from accidents.
Right.
You can have it from.
Or even for
you get
tickets.
stopped.
Even for tickets.
Absolutely. I
was thinking about getting one tomorrow. Going to Car
if
Toys.
you get one, you like it, I'll get one.
Okay. I was going to ask the car guys on Friday.
I thought they.
Just see what they think about it.
Didn't they say it was a good deal? Well, I know it's a good deal
Yeah.
because it records all the time, right?
Right. It's a 30-second rollover or 30-minute rollover.
Really?
Yeah.
That's quick. That's
30 minutes.
Yeah, that's not very much. So if you had an accident, you better stop it and get it. Otherwise, 30 minutes later, it's going to be gone.
Well, it may shut off when the car shuts off. So if you're in an accident, and shut the car off. I don't know. I'll find out about it.
Well, I wonder where they first got the damn information that the town of Erie owed SEMA millions. How did they find that out?
Right.
It's
I mean, that's got to be an inside job.
It's one of their emails. One of them got hacked.
Right.
Or you could just go around saying, okay, these guys are working for this company.
That's true, because you go by the bridge, the sign will say,
SEMA.
thanks, SEMA, or whatever.
Right, exactly. And a guy could
So then you just fish. No, because I think they knew the exact person to email that to. Although that's just a phone call. We're talking a tiny town.
Exactly. It's just a phone call anywhere. It's probably there's
Hey,
a village.
this is Mark with SEMA. We're trying to figure out who to send
You
this
could probably
to.
look up Denver and it probably has everybody and what their job is.
In Denver,
sure,
yeah. This would never happen in Franktown.
Because they don't have $1 million.
We have no bridges.
and you don't have $1 million.
Well, I bet they have $1 million bills.
My friend lives in Tiny Town. There's probably only 6 people that actually live in
And
Tiny
those
Town.
houses are really cheap.
Right.
Those bridges are real small.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when we moved down here in 92 or 93, and my dad took Suzanne.
It's just
to
general
tiny
stuff,
town.
but ransomware.
I had no idea it was a tiny
Have
town.
you been there before?
Never heard of it.
sorry.
We were just driving up to Evergreen or somewhere, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna go through this little town called Tiny Town. Everything's small." But I thought, like, small,
Right.
not miniature.
Not miniaturized.
But he had never
Did
been
you
there
go on
either.
the train?
No. My dad had been there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did he put you on the train?
No, man, I was in my 20s. Here, you can go on the train.
I'll take pictures.
Suzanne can sit on the back.
Bring the bell. I'll take pictures.
We didn't even get out. I legitimately thought it was like a small town, not a fucking tiny town. I don't even know the story behind Tiny Town. Like, why is it even there? And do they put Christmas lights up?
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Listen, I want to get right to the phones. Please hang on. I'm going to get to all of you. Mike, you want to talk about real estate? What's going on?
Tom, I bought a piece of property in Larimer County, and long story short, the realtors settled with me because they sold me a property that wasn't as described.
Now, wait a minute. Why did the realtor take responsibility?
Well, I think they did it just to settle, make me go away.
No, what I mean, I see what you're saying. So this seller was the listing broker?
Right.
And tell me how it was different.
Instead of being 3 separate lots in the parcel, it turned out there were only 2. So I was buying it for developmental,
Oh, I get it. So that is very serious. So did you keep the 2 lots?
I ended up getting I settled with the seller by rescinding the sale.
Wait a minute. Wait. That was the settlement? You simply rescinded it?
Well, I had to in order to go after the realtors. But let me just tell you that the seller had a survey done on the property. It's called a ISP, which is a lot more technical than an ILC.
Yes.
And the surveyor did not correct the records with the county. So the realtors got by saying, we went by the county records. I don't know how much you've gotten into this.
Well, hold on. But that's all they have to do. Now, listen.
Right.
How much did you settle? How much did they give you, the real estate person?
Oh, I only got $1,500.
Yeah, but you rescinded the deal and got $1,500. Did you put a lot of energy into this whole thing? Were you doing planning and all of that? Did you hire engineers? Do you have any loss of money?
Oh, yes.
How much?
Probably $30,000.
Well, hold on a second. Why would you go through all that due diligence before owning it? You actually had an engineer plan out your development?
Well, all we had to do was look into a sewer line and
yeah, but $30,000 sounds unreasonable to me. Listen, I used to do a minimal amount of planning work before I would buy a parcel to make sure I could get best use out of it. But maybe with times have changed, it would be $30,000. I remember spending maybe 10, 12. But here's the deal. What do you want now? What are you calling about?
If the surveyor had done their duty, which, as far as I know, they are required to correct the county records.
I don't know if they are they?
Well, according to a surveyor I talked to, they are. Especially if it's a improvement survey plat, which is everything.
So you're saying, hold on, so you want to recoup some of your losses from the surveyor?
Oh, definitely.
Well, I agree.
I would have never bought the property.
Listen, Mike, if what you're saying is true, you definitely would have a case. If what you're saying is true, if a surveyor is obligated to correct the public record based on their findings, if that's true, then there was definitely breach there, or not breach, neglect, and you have losses that you suffered that you did not recoup from the realtor, and you did not sign a settlement with the realtor saying this would be done forever, did you?
Right. We definitely did not.
Well, then so are you asking me if it was me, and if what you're telling me is true, I would go after the surveyor.
Okay. Well, there's a real estate outfit in Boulder. They want $600 just to sit down and discuss, the case. And
well, unfortunately, listen, real estate law is such that it's all statutory. There's nothing about emotion or anything. They have to examine this, and $600 may be reasonable. I don't know. You need to find a firm, though, that knows what they're doing, because real estate firms are hard to come by. But if you get a price up front, what you're looking for, do you have a neglect? All you have to do is figure out, I would still, before I even hire an attorney, find out if surveyors are required. I don't think they are. Are they required to do what you say? To report inaccuracies? Joshua, what is your issue, Joshua?
Yeah, hey, thanks for taking my call, Tom.
Yes, sir.
I'm just calling because I'm pulling out all the stops here. I've got a condo in a high-rise, a real nice place downtown, and I had a construction project above me in my building go completely off the rails. It's an extremely secure building with strong
Wait. This is a building with condos. Was someone improving their condo above you?
Yep. Exactly.
How did it go off the rails? What happened?
It was the property managers failed to supervise it or enforce any of the rules.
How did it hurt you?
Now I have he moved walls and did not soundproof his floors properly.
So are you saying, had the building enforced its rules, its existing rules, you would not have diminished value?
Yes, that's correct.
But you got to be really sure. Now, hold on. Are you sure there is something about soundproofing? Are you sure what he did?
I'm positive.
Okay. How do you know? How do you know what existed beforehand? Was anyone living there?
People were living there before, but there's building documents that show what existed before, and I've also pulled up past pictures from past listings that show exactly what was there. And I've been able to...
No, how long have you owned it, Joshua? How long have you owned?
3 years.
Okay. And how long has it been vacant?
What, vacant?
Was it vacant when you during the first 3 years, was it vacant?
No, it was occupied by somebody else.
And during that, and you never heard them until the improvements?
Oh, yeah. No, I never heard a sound.
Okay. Man, Mark, this is going to be tough. He's arguing diminished value based on improvements that were not done correctly. Oh, my goodness. Listen, man, this will be expensive, and I don't know how you go about. Do you truly believe that you have diminished value from what you purchased?
Yes. I truly believe it because I have...
but it has to be attributed solely to that project.
Yeah. I hear everything above me, scooting chairs, footsteps, everything, and this is a really high-end building where you're not supposed to be able to hear your neighbors
What does the management say? What does the management say?
The management denies everything. This project's been going on for a year and a half.
But it doesn't matter how long. What do they deny? That they did not oversee it?
Nope, they really don't deny any of it. They just have gone quiet.
How much damage do you think you suffered?
Well, besides the monetary damages, which, I mean, I don't know. I mean, as far as monetary damages, I have to disclose this to any future owner.
What do you, wait. Wait a minute. What do you have to disclose?
That there's unsoundproof floors above me.
No, you don't. You don't know that to be a fact.
I do know it to be a fact.
How do you know it to be a fact?
It's already been admitted to by the building management.
Joshua, you're looking for your own trouble. I know of no disclosure statement whatsoever that asks if there are soundproof floors above you.
You need to. I'm a realtor. You need to disclose any material defect that you have knowledge.
Joshua,
of. And I have knowledge that.
Who says it's a defect? See, we might disagree. Who says it's a defect? I'm not trying to argue with you. I think it's nice that you want to disclose that. I think it's nice that you want to disclose that there are no soundproof floors above you. But you're almost hanging yourself. I don't. The level of soundproofing. Why won't they go in and soundproof?
I think the reason is because they don't want it to get out that they didn't properly supervise the project, so they're not acknowledging the problems that happen.
See, Joshua, that's what I'm getting at. You can't prove. You need to get an affidavit saying they were not soundproofed. Do you have one?
I've got a statement from the HOA's attorney to that effect.
Okay, send it to us. I want to hold on. Send it to us. We'll talk about this because I think it's going to be difficult. Not that it can't be done. You're talking about quantifying a loss of value based on what you need to tell someone. I mean, this is getting crazy. First, you need to have an appraisal done to make sure you have a loss to begin with.
And how would you even determine diminished value in this case until it actually sold? What would you go off of?
I don't know. That's the point. He has to have it quantified. And man,
retro foam.
No. You
little retro foam. It'll be soundproof.
No. Actually, that would no. What are you talking about? They can't do ceilings. They can't do ceilings. They can do a closed cavity. They can't do an open attic. When he said he could not do ceilings, he meant he cannot do ceilings. I'll get him on the phone. I'll prove it. Because the reason he said he can't do ceilings, the only reason is because it's not a closed cavity in a home. If it's a closed cavity with a floor and a ceiling below, you can inject into a closed cavity. That's what it is. In fact, let's get Chase on and see. Let's just get him on. Listen, we're running out of time. Hold on.
Now, impact traffic.
Exact
No. I remember them saying.
Why not do it on condos that have, because a lot of condos won't let you have wood floors.
Right, because of that.
Because of that. And I said, and he said, it
Who?
Something on wiring.
Oh, okay.
But his diminished value would be if he got his condo appraised and the people next door got it appraised.
Appraisal is not a sale. It's totally different.
Yeah, but that might be enough to establish.
I think so.
Right.
It
might be, Mark.
It would be like views, having your views on a diminished value, and all of a sudden somebody put something.
But if you had a comparable unit that was selling for $30,000
My point is, though,
more,
until it actually sells, I don't know how you would ever come up with a diminished value.
Right. No, I agree. But that's how
same thing with a car.
There's a million of the same cars, though. There's not a million of that exact same house.
But there might be.
That's the difference.
But if he's in a condo building.
He's right. If the condo.
TheArtofGranite.com. Make sure you put the "the" on it. TheArtofGranite.com will get you the golden Art of Granite. In fact, at Facebook.com, look up Art of Granite Golden. That's on Facebook. Facebook.com/Art of Granite Golden. Let me just tell you what they do. Mitch Floria and his team will make you a beautiful countertop and backsplash, even cabinets if you want them. They have a great showroom in Golden. All materials are wholesale. They only charge for fabrication and installation. You get a price on the phone right now, 303-386-5919. 303-386-5919.
See, I think it's. I think you can't do diminished value on this until you sell it. then you could argue it.
Right.
But I still don't know
No,
if that would
Mark,
work.
because diminished value claims are made on cars all the time.
But there's a million of that Ford Taurus. There's a million different sales things to use.
Yeah.
This is one particular
You got a
unit.
point. I don't know. Can we, Mark, can we get a fucking real estate attorney?
God, there's just no
Jesus! We don't have any.
How would you do diminished value?
You don't like when you sell it. You do it a comparable condo in the same
That's
building.
the problem. You'd have to have that comparable.
But there would be a comparable condo.
On a different floor, maybe. Same layout, different
Yeah.
floor, no noise.
Right.
But then you'd have to also prove that noise was there, and the people that bought yours didn't give you as much because of the noise, not for any other reason.
It's a hard
Well,
sell.
you could ask them, say, okay, this is what you bought, and then bring them back and say, okay, now this is what you
But
bought.
this guy's saying I got to disclose it. It's noisy.
Well, no. Well, he said it is because it's a defect, and if the defect is because they didn't follow the rules for.
But you know they're
construction,
not saying that.
That's a defect.
You know they're not saying that.
Who's not saying that?
The whoever built it or whoever owns it.
No, he's saying that.
I know he is. Whatever he's going to send over from the HOA isn't going to say, hey, the whole building's defective. We acknowledge it.
I
We're
tell you
sorry.
what, I think he should sue the property manager and said that they didn't supervise it, and they got to go back in there and do it.
I don't know if you could. That's the other.
Why?
I don't
If they
know.
didn't do it according to the correct way.
No, I'm saying how
It's
would
a
you
code.
redo it?
You have
Take
to
out the
tear it up,
floors and
insulate it, and put it back down.
I wonder what they did. That they took away the soundproof.
Geez, think of the logistics of that.
We'll just be redoing it.
Well, let's say it's like, what's one of these buildings? Landmark. Let's say it's like Landmark down here. Holy shit. Not only are you taking out a floor, you're also taking out a ceiling.
No, they must have did something to their floors.
Yeah, I don't think if they took out a ceiling.
Yeah. No, they're doing.
But if
he
they
owned it while they're doing.
So generally, so like where you used to live at Landmark, you have your ceiling. So let's just call that your drywall.
I didn't live in
What's
Landmark.
above your drywall?
Their floor.
Yeah, but there's
Right.
got to be something
No,
in
a
between.
space. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
floor joists.
Yeah.
Concrete, it's structural
So why
concrete.
couldn't they pump shit into there?
They can.
Okay.
And maybe I've always asked them that because I think that's the perfect thing because there's many condos and stuff won't allow you to have wood floors
Right, because of that.
because of noise.
So where's the condo guy? Where is he?
I'd like to know how noisy it is too, or is he crazy?
That's you right.
Did you
I've
get
had
his
a phone
number?
that's it.
Good. You have his number.
Just like remember that one. of the
Okay,
things up
I
there-
can't hear you at all.
Was it the same lady that showed us the bugs?
No, they were squeaking floors.
Good. Dan, this guy's sending you the information from the condo. So when we don't have to do it now, but I want to get him back on. So mark that as a follow. This is a good topic.
Hey, here's the other thing.
I want to try to find a real estate
No, this is
attorney.
good also. Here's another one. That lady, they sent that lady that T-Bone hadn't turned in the insurance
Yeah.
company. Should we try to call her tomorrow on the air?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I want to mark up those follows. I don't have.
We'll call her abroad.
Let me see. Let me get at that. I have so many areas that I wanted to.
That's Joshua. He called a few times. God, I got cold in here. They must have.
It's freezing in here. Did you turn it down?
Yeah.
Yeah, they thought Tom was falling asleep.
I was.
Really?
That's why I turned it
He
down.
put it down on like 3. What's between a
You
condo,
got higher energy.
ceiling,
Nobody remembers the big board, but I have it.
floor?
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, here's a note. We're following up a few things. First of all, we're following up this one company that this woman says she can't get a handicap apartment and she deserves one. She's been there for a few years and she wants one. She says for some reason they're denying her that. She's on disability, she's on rental subsidy, and she's a 2-time felon. But we're following that up. We also have this condo we're going to talk to tomorrow. This guy says he lost money, and I want to talk to Rocky Mountain Retro Foam tomorrow. I'd like to talk to him about if they can inject in there, and that would at least quantify damages, because I think they can if it's a closed cavity. Now, being a condo might make it different. See, that part I'm not sure of, okay? But that could solve the whole thing. So we have a number of things going on. And very quickly now, I'd like to talk to Brad Hawkins. I want to get him on tomorrow. This is not enough time because I wanted to bring this up. You're with SafeNet.com or SaferNet? I'm getting both here. Which one is it?
SaferNet.com.
That's what I thought. SaferNet. Oh, I read it wrong on the bottom one. It is SaferNet. Listen, I know I've talked to you at length, Brad, and I love what you do, and we're going to represent you because we think people need to know about this. But I want to just tease people, and we'll talk more about it tomorrow. Is it true? Now, I got to know this. If I go through you, it's seamless. I don't know there is someone in between my web traffic and me. Is that true?
That is exactly correct, yes.
What about the speed? So when I browse, I'm going through a safety net, so to speak, called SaferNet, and I want to know, is that SaferNet a net that diminishes my speed at all?
No, we have less than 0.01 latency. Everything is run in the cloud, and there's nothing that slows down the process.
And can you see what I'm browsing or where I'm browsing?
Yeah, the administrators can see. So it shows up on a dashboard, and you can see all the traffic that...
if you chose to.
If you chose to, exactly.
Yeah,
you can see
that's
everything that you're doing and employees or kids.
Now, but here's what I want to know.
I want to know if they answer John Doe lawsuits.
Here's what I want to know. Is it, Brad, this is yes or no, and then we're going to talk to you tomorrow. If I have you as my SaferNet, is it impossible to get ransomware?
No, but I can answer that next
It's time. Not impossible?
No, you can still open up a bad email.
All right, I'm going to talk to Tom Martino for Ideal Home Loans. They have the rate guarantee. If rates go down, they will refinance you free of charge. 303-867-7000. Check out their pre-approval. It's like a cash offer. Already approved.